Well, hello my friends. In this video we are looking at adding interior detailing to a garage that will go with the house that we detailed in the previous video. And I am going to be putting a model of a Ford Escort vehicle that was a failed 3D print inside the garage, jacked up with the front wheels removed and a set of tires lying around to be fitted to it. So let's have a look at what is happening throughout this process. Firstly, I am painting the sides that will be visible, and that is only the front and the top side of the vehicle. I'm painting it with acrylic paints as it will be inside the garage and not very visible. It will just be the idea that there is something. Then the garage itself, I am going to match the house's color scheme, which was yellow and green. So I shall be painting the garage details like the door and the downpipe, a similar green to the green of the house details. And then the walls of the garage is going to be a yellow that will also match up with the house's color of the house's walls, which was also like a dirty yellow. So we are busy painting the downpipe, and unfortunately this acrylic paint is not the best quality, so it does not adhere well without a undercoat, but a couple of coats I have found do work, and thanks to the wonders of editing we can speed up the process. Instead of boring you with me painting for a couple of hours until the paint is dry and there's enough paint on it to actually cover everything that needs to be covered. So let us just watch the process. Now we're starting with the yellow paint, painting the walls, and this is also sped up so that I do not bore you with painting brush stroke by brush stroke. I wish it went this quickly when I was actually doing it. Then the next step is to actually paint the roof black to represent a tar paper roof. So just a few good coats, thick coats of black acrylic paint, and that shall give the appearance of a tar paper roof on the garage. And important to clean the brush that you do not have the previous colors bleeding through when you are painting. And I'm just using a bit of the paint from the tube, and then normally that which is left in the cap when I unscrew the cap. And this is also sped up and edited because it was also quite a tedious process to paint the roof, so sped it up so that it is again not boring to watch as the process unfolds. And then inside the garage we will be putting some tires, and so we're first cleaning them up where they were connected to the supports on the 3D printer, just scraping those off and then securing them to a lid of a pillbox. And then we will be painting them black, as most tires are black. I'm not so fancy as to have white wall tires yet on any of my vehicles, but these ones are quickly being painted, as you can see, also sped up, as not to bore you with painting all the details, because that is about the longest process, the most time-consuming process, is painting the details. And then we come to putting it all together. I have also from my box of 3D printed goodies discovered a trolley jack, and we will be using that to jack the car up. And then also we'll be adding a floor to the garage. I've got some thick paper, it's almost a cardstock, but it's just thick enough not to be flexible, very flexible. So I'll be tracing the garage and then cutting the floor to fit, putting all the details onto the floor, and then we shall be adding the garage building over the floor and making sure there's no glue left on the garage on the outsides, that it will be stuck to the cutting mat on which I'm working, and then it will be placed on the layout when it is ready. So we are cutting the floor, and then we shall be fitting and cutting and fitting and cutting until it is the correct size. And it is best to draw pencil lines with a ruler just to make sure that the cuts are straight. And fitting the garage again just to make sure that there is not pieces that are overhanging or where I still need to trim it a bit more, because I measured on the outside just to get a shape, and now I'm going to start measuring on the inside to cut the floor to the exact size that it needs to be. Now we've cut the floor to length. Now we still need to cut it to the correct width. Fitting it lengthwise and then marking it for the correct width in each corner, and then cutting that excess piece off, and thereafter test fitting the floor again, and it should be lying on top of the garage walls, and it just does so. That's it, lying perfectly on top of the walls. So now we can start actually adding the details, and I'm working in, I can almost say, a reverse sequence by adding the details to the floor, and once that is done, then I will be adding the garage over the details, gluing it to the floor, that I don't have to hassle to try and work inside the garage. Adding some glue to the trolley jack, and then adding the vehicle to the trolley jack. So that it looks like this little Ford Escort is jacked up. And then we are going to add some tires, two lying next to it, next to the jack. And we are also going to add some tires standing against the garage wall, as it seems this guy is quite serious about his vehicle and doing maintenance himself. So therefore we will be adding all the little bits and pieces and parts that he may need. And lastly, but that I do not think I'll cover in this video, I still have to paint a figure. We'll have a figure lying in halfway underneath the vehicle. Sometimes that will just be the legs of a figure that was used in a coach inside, or one of those other places, a vehicle perhaps. So I'll see what I have got in my box of figures. If there's just a set of legs, they will find their way into this one, lying underneath the vehicle, busy working on it. All right, now the tires have been installed in the garage against the wall with a small drop of glue. And now let's fit the garage over the floor. Squeeze it down, and then make sure that there's no glue seeping And you can have a quick squiz inside, seeing there's some tires against the wall and on the floor, and the vehicle on the jack, and where it will be on the layout. That will just be a little bit of interest for the nosy visitor who wants to peek around and see some more detail.